Hello, welcome class. So one or 1321, this is CS1 course. So if you click over here, so you will see the lecture 01 review 1 is C# and Java, then lecture 2 review 2, and lecture 3 and the sorting and searching, and lecture 4 is 2D arrays, two-dimensional arrays. So after that there is a quiz, quiz 1. I have extended its due date, so it is still September 1. So please wait until you complete these PowerPoint slides. So for instance, let us go through each of these slides. So quickly I can go through this slide. So this is how I like you to go through each of the slides. For instance, this is lecture 1. So if you go to this slide 1, and at the end of this slide you will see a download button over here. You will click on this download button, please. So once you click on the download button, then you will see that a PowerPoint file will be downloaded. Actually this is like a PDF format, so you cannot make any change over here. So but if you download the PowerPoint file, then you will be added. So then click on show in folder or double click over here, so it will open. So then once you open it, okay, I'm sorry, so once you open it, then you will be able to edit it or add something more here. So I have actually added all of my PowerPoints. Let me see if I can get those. So this is 1322 learning modules. These are from I got from okay, so let me open it using the PowerPoint. Okay, so review 1, lecture 1. Okay, so now if you download the if you download this file and if you open this as a PowerPoint file, then you will be able to write your note, write your own notes over here, or if you want to add more slides over here in between, you can do that. So let us go through this quickly. So first one is this one is a review of 1301 or 1321. So it's common data types. So as I discussed earlier, integer, long, double, float, and character. So in C# there is also there is a boolean. In Java it's called boolean, and C# we call bool, and in C# we write strings is in lowercase, but in Java we say string in uppercase. As we know, in Java string is a class, and string, so actually string is a class, it's considered as a class. So we use string instance as an object of string class. So this is why you have to type in uppercase. So then if we see the next one, okay, so this is the console for writing like console.writex. This is in C# format, console.io. and then if you go to Java, then you will see system.out.println. Actually system is a class and out is an what is called is print streams classes is an what is it called modi field. Actually it is a field, it is static type field. So this is why it is called with the class name system.out.println. Print is a method, or println is a method also here. So and next line is a method. So for scanning, So like if you want to get some value from keyboard, then we use next line, or next int is we use if we scan some integer value, then we use next int. And then it has data validity. So these are the common things, so please go ahead each by one each of this space. Then it says how to write pseudocode. In order to write pseudocode, we assign name equal to empty value. There is nothing. Empty means empty, but not null. There is another for object type, there is another value for null, that is but not null. So if you cannot type in this, this you type in by pressing holding down Alt key, then you will from the lock side of your keyboard you will type in 127 maybe, then unhold release the Alt button, then it should come here, but it's not coming here. Maybe 128 or something, or 126. No, maybe it's supposed to be 127. But okay, if you cannot type in this character, you can give equal sign. That should be fine. That's not an issue. This is writing pseudocode. Okay, and then is in C# user interaction. So console.write will allow you to type in something, the string that is within double quotation. So this is the strings are represented in double quotation. So and in this line you will it will allow you to type in some value from your keyboard, and then whatever you will type in your name, and then that will be printed as hello. And then if you say Mokhtar, then we'll say hello Mokhtar. So this is in C# notation. So if you go back in Java notation, user interaction is means when you want to enter some values using keyboard, then it's called user interaction. Okay, and then it has pseudocode if statement. So as I mentioned, if you have to type in all uppercase, else it in uppercase, and then end it in one word. Okay, and else, and then print is all capital. Okay, so after if you are putting a condition over here, and after else if you are putting another or different condition. So if this condition is met, then this line will be printed, and if this condition does not meet, then it will check if whether this condition is meeting. If this condition is satisfied, then it will print this line will be executed. And if neither of these condition satisfied, then else block will be executed. Okay, so it is this is similar. This is the pseudocode, and this is corresponding code in C#, and this is corresponding code in Java. So after next, then we have used curly bracket. We use curly bracket here in order to assign a block. If you have a block of single line, then using a curly bracket is an optional. But you have multiple lines, then you should use curly bracket. But we use curly bracket, but a single line using a curly bracket is not mandatory, but it's optional. You can type, still you can use curly bracket here or there. For else block, similarly you can use curly bracket. Okay, so then it calls method, declaring method. Method has a return type and then method name, and it may have some parameter list, may or may have some may not have some parameter list. Parameter lists are optional. Then the method body start with an opening curly bracket as is ended with a closing curly bracket. And how do you know whether it is a method? Just by looking the parentheses. Okay, when you see a set of parentheses, then you will understand this is a method. Okay, for instance here this is a method, it has a parenthesis. This is a method, print is a method, println is a method. Let us go up. So if we see here right line is a method because it has a parenthesis, right? So it has a parenthesis. Wherever you see a parenthesis, this is a parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis there this, you may find something inside the parenthesis or may not find something inside the parenthesis. If you see there is something inside the parenthesis, then this are called argument or parameter. So we will know the use of argument and parameter better if you go through method declaration. Okay, and a method may, most of the time method have a return type. So return types, if a method has a return types, is very important. Methods return types is very important thing. So if a method has a return type, so then it return it's at the last line, or will be at the body last line will be something like that, return some expression, some value or some expression. If you want to void this return type, then you will use a void in the here in return type here. So in the method signature here, if you say void, then this method cannot have a return statement. So if you do not have a void, then you have to give a return type, but if you have a void, then you cannot give a return type. Okay, void means you are discarding, you are like excluding its return type. You will not have any return type, for you will not have any return statement for this method. Okay, so methods return type is very important thing. So when a method returns a value, then that method can be used as a variable of that type, of that return type. So we will know methods return type later, more about that. Okay, so here print menu is a method and it has no parameters. So how do we know this is a method? So it has a set of one set parenthesis, and this is the method's body starts and method body ends over here, and this return type is void. So also right line is also a method over here, and console is a class. So then this one has a pseudocode of get choice. So this is a pseudocode. So this is a pretty straightforward pseudocode. Please go through this pseudocode, and then it has something, it's same thing. This is in pseudocode. This pseudocode is implemented in Java, and here it is the C# implementation, and here is a loop. Loop is used mainly for iterating, for iteration. If you want to iterate or execute a block of statement multiple times, like more than one times, then you should use a loop statement. A loop statement will make your execution maybe faster, or it will concise your program code, and it will make your program code concise, so that everybody can understand this easily. So therefore, like for is a most commonly used loop control statement. So for it has within parentheses. So within parentheses, this is also as I mentioned, that if you see a parenthesis, this is kind of method. So this is an exceptional, but you can tell it as a for method. It's not a method, but this is an exceptional condition. So here you will initialize the index variable. Initially, actually within the for loop, we put over here the index variable, we call that. So that index, it puts at the initial value, then condition. This condition may increases or decreases the index value, and it has the last or final value of the index value that will terminate the loop. So and within parentheses you can put your loop body. But if you have only one statement, then its parenthesis is optional. For instance, initially sum is 0 for I equal to 1 to 0 to 0 to I less than 100 is I plus equal to 2. That means every time I is increasing by 2, I equal to I plus 2. That means, and it is adding sum equal to sum plus I. That means it is adding all of the even values 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 up to what? Up to 98. And then finally it will find the sum like that is a 2 plus 4 plus 6 up to 98. So that will be printed over here, and is similar over here. So here you can do there is a do loop, for loop, like for loop there is a while loop. While loop is more similar with for loop, but there is a do loop. There is a difference between do while. This is called do while in C#. Between while and do while there is a difference, one difference. In do, it will execute the body at least one time without checking the condition. So then once the body is executed, after the body is executed, it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then it will again execute the body. If the condition is false, then it will not execute the body for the second time. Okay, so there is the difference between while and do while is that while execute the body with a condition. If the condition is true, or while like while and for, if the condition is true, then the while loop will execute the body. But if no matter whether the condition is true or false, do will execute the body at least one time. For the second time, it will check the condition. And another thing that while using do, after while you will use a semicolon in C# and in Java as well. Well, after do you do not use any semicolon, and also after for you do not use any semicolon. Okay, so this is for Java and this is for C#, almost same code in C# and Java. So this is another thing. This is initialize I equal to index variable equal to 10 and total equal to 0. Do total equal to total plus I. It is decreasing I. It is decreasing I by 1 every time. So it's a decremental postfix operator. So while loop. Okay, so I got while loop over here. While loop, unlike do loop, while loop checks the condition first. If the condition is true, then it executes the body. If the condition is not true, then it will not execute the body. Okay, so but do while loop, it will execute the body at least one time, and if the condition is true, then it will execute the body for the second time or next time. So please do some practice to understand between while and do while statements. Then we have another review, lecture 2. So in lecture 2 it discusses about classes and array. So almost you have known this. So class is a data type or a template or object, and if a class has a class have some variables and some methods to execute or to operate on those variables. So in variables in class we call member variables, and methods in class, functions in class we say method or function. Next in class contains some variables and some functions. The functions of the class are called methods. So if a function name is of a class is if a function has same name of this class, then we will call it the constructor. A constructor is a class. A constructor is used in order to initiate a in order to create an object of a class. So and these are the modifier, access modifier, public, private, protected, and get and set are that we call getter and setter. In C#, also in Java we call getter and setter. Okay. Classes instance variable should normally be private, but it can be protected one. So here is public class. Okay, trophy is a trophy class. A class name usually start with an uppercase letter. So this is the class body start, and where it ends, it does not have any end. So class body. So this is the end of the class body. So we can say, and this is the method trophy. This has same name of the class name. So this is a constructor. So a constructor does not have any return type, even not void. Constructor cannot have a return type. So our loaded constructor, a class may have multiple constructors. So instead of closing this class over here, so if we do this way, let me do this way. Let me do this way. Let me do this way. Make some space, and then I can do over here. So this is over here. This is here, and we can close the class over here. We can close over here. So okay. So this class trophy class has two constructors. One is trophy without any argument, and this is with two arguments. One is string type, another is integer type. So a class may have multiple constructors. So based on the initialization, when we initialize an object while creating an object using new operator, so whatever constructor we use, that constructor will be called. Okay, so this name is name, and this integer actually you will initially, if you do not give an integer value over here, point value, then it will take 10. Otherwise, if you assign any other value, then it will get that value. So it has multiple constructors. Okay, so then this class public string is class, okay, name, get name. Okay, this in C# is getter and setter method. This setter and getter method. So you may hear about this setter and getter method. We will use getter and setter method to initialize object's value. So please read something and do. So this is override. If we have for method overloading, for polymorphism we use overriding. So in Java we use override annotation in Java. So mainly is two string method we override a lot. We will see that in programming. So then there is array. So that in this, so I saw that you have a good understanding of array. So you have also understanding of two-dimensional array. A two-dimensional array is an array of arrays. So actually this is a sign of array. Angle bracket is a sign of array, you know that. So that is, this is a this second bracket, this angle bracket goes on with the type. So you can put in like this way, or you can give space, or even you can give you can put over here. But wherever you put, when you do not give space, then actually it is tied with that array type. Okay, So it's a simple thing, so you can go ahead and then please review these steps, and then I think please do some practice of array operation. Like for instance, if you want to find the minimum value of an array, so this is a pseudocode, or pseudocode is C# type code. Maybe this is a pseudocode, and this is C# type code, and this is Java type code to finding the mean value of an array. And this one is the pseudocode of finding average value of an array. So you can write pseudocode over here in multiple ways. So please go ahead with this lecture videos, and then especially for these two slides. So then there are two other slides for us to review before before you take quiz 1. I have extended quiz 1 to September 1. Actually, I like you to review this lecture 1, lecture 2, and lecture 3 and lecture 4, these tools as well, these slides, before you take quiz 1. And please let me know if you need